Something was wrong with my shirt.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shanti Niven, and there's Logie.
I'm here. How are you?
All they do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All they do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All they do is talk, talk.
Out. I had to wait, what on
Oh my gosh.
really quick. I had to change shirts.
Women who take their time getting ready and what have you. Well,
Right. Right.
I'm also on time. And Ellie is our producer. She is witness to the fact that always, a few minutes before the show, you go off somewhere.
I had to change shirts. The other one was
What were you drooling over your shirt?
the wrong color. It was black. It was the wrong shade of black.
Okay. 50 Shades of Black.
I have 50 shades of black shirts.
Well, welcome, talkers, because the only
Welcome.
ones who are watching this right now are talkers, because if you're watching this live, you're a member of Talk on Facebook.
You are a member.
You're a member, but you're not a real member until you have gone to real with an R, talk.com and signed up, registered. And you better do it quickly because we've got some exciting stuff in the pipeline for you. So we're
We
going to
starting tomorrow?
We'll be sharing some of that at the end of the show, yes, about what we're going to be doing from tomorrow. But we've got some exciting stuff in the pipeline, and you will only get this information if you are a member, a registered member. There's no charge, no cost. We're not going to send you lots of advertising and stuff like that. No, you're a member of Talk, a part of an exclusive club, right?
Exclusivity,
Exclusivity.
as the English say.
The English, you know.
The English. Hello, Eric. How are you?
You said hello before I could. That's not fair.
He says, hey, hey. It must be hey for me and a hey for you.
Hey to you too, Eric. And welcome to anybody else.
That's it.
Say hello if you come in to the show. Just say hello, say hi, and let us know that you're here. What are we discussing tonight, Liv?
Pets and us.
Pets and us. We thought
Not pets, but pets.
a show about communication and about relationships, because we talk about communication as crime. We're talking about how to become better communicators, how to get along with others, develop people skills, but wouldn't be complete without a talk on pets, who are such an important part of most of our lives. I don't understand that. In fact, I don't even trust people who don't like animals. I don't get it at all.
Right. How do you not like animals?
Right.
What's wrong with you?
Only animals don't like animals.
Certain animals. Dogs don't like cats. Well, sometimes. Sometimes cats get along.
My dog, Maggie, has everybody seen Maggie? Because I'm obsessed with her. I rescued her from the pound 8 years ago. 2012, I rescued this little mutt. Now, I will tell you this, David. I went to the pound looking for a certain type of dog. Maggie was not it. She was not the dog I was
became
looking
it.
for. Yeah. I went in there with a certain dog in mind, and then I found this old, decrepit, messed up dog. They said she was 8. She was silver, wiry-haired. She was a little bitch. I mean, literally and figuratively. She wanted to bite me from the very first second.
She's a little cranky.
She was a little cranky, to say the least. But because I knew she was going to be put down, I thought, I can't leave this poor puppy there. And I took her home, and what the best decision ever. She's my best friend. But Maggie is obsessed with crows.
Hey, Lori.
Hi, Laurie.
He says, hi, guys. Can't stay long, but stopping in to say hi. Hello.
Catch the show afterwards because it's going to be fun. We're talking about animals, not David Lofi, though.
We're talking about dogs. I think she's got a couple dogs.
Yeah. Well,
Like
who
a
doesn't love dogs? Dogs are
Golden
amazing.
retriever or something like that. Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you, David, why is a dog a man's best friend?
A dog is people's best friend.
Well, they say a dog is a man's best friend. That's the saying, right?
Yeah, I know what this thing is. Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, this is how it goes.
Being PC. Hey, Kath, how are you?
Hello, Maggie.
Oh,
Mrs.
just
Kath.
hello to Maggie. Maggie's not even here.
I'm not even in the picture. Kath misses Maggie. Maggie misses.
Me neither.
So why do we call it dog a man's best friend? Well, here's how it apparently goes. If you lock your wife and your dog into the trunk of a car, who's happy to see you when you let them out?
That's right. Right.
Your wife's gonna be pissed, but your dog's gonna be happy.
That's right. That dog's gonna be happy to see you. Oh, 3 dogs, Lori says. She has 3 dogs. I was wrong. I thought there was 2.
So in case everybody was wondering, Maggie has settled down very nicely in her new home. She is loving all the animals, chasing rabbits every day. She literally chases rabbits. I don't know what she'd do if she caught one. I'm not sure.
What would the rabbit do?
Because she thinks it's obscene that a bird should be so big. So she's having a way. And I believe that you've been mistreating your animals, Lofi.
According to somebody, I guess I haven't been feeding them.
Oh my God.
I had the animal control come out, and they're getting me a nice little report. So I get to maybe bring that to court with me. So
Well, I will say this for our viewers. I've known this man now for a few years. I know these dogs, Gigi and Coraline, 2 more pampered pooches you cannot get.
spoiled, rotten to the bone.
Rotten, those 2 dogs. So really, honestly, that was such a mean thing to do. But we're not going to get
Right?
all that on the show.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about mean people.
Meanies. Hi, Cheryl.
Number 12.
We're not going to talk about number 12. Oh my God. So obvious. Okay.
Hey Cheryl, how are you?
Okay. So the discussion for today is on pets and the role that they play. And David, I believe you have a story to share.
I have a story to share. It was actually about a woman who went out and she didn't really think she was going to get a dog. And then she got her first dog from a rescue dog. And the dog came into her life. A friend of hers got very sick, and she brought the dog over and helped that person cope. It was amazing. The story about how the dog helped the person cope through their problems and issues while they were dying of cancer. And after, when that person did pass away, that dog even helped that woman with recovery. And it's, you can't find happiness in other things, but in yourself. And that inner self, that's what the dog taught her was that in the inner self. And, the dog helped her to get up when she was depressed and down and out. And
Wow.
so, but that's not really, I really want to talk about what they do with dogs these days. Dogs are used now for PTSD. They have PTSD dogs. They have multiple dogs for multiple, not just dogs, but cats, animals in general. And some of them what do they call them on flights? People bring in their
Support animals. Do not joke about it. Maggie is my emotional support animal.
the emotional support animal. So people have gotten alligators and peacocks and whatever else. And
Alligator, I don't think so somehow.
yeah, I think they're kind of like blowing it out of the extreme. I mean, a dog's or a cat are very empathetic. They're coming up to you, and yeah.
You know what's amazing is that
Potbelly pigs.
they've actually shown that animals can sniff out diseases. They have an ability to sense stuff. And so Maggie went from this she had just didn't trust people, was incredibly fearful, wanted to bite me, to being the most lovable friend. And you remember when I was having all the kidney problems, Maggie used to lie right at the part of my back that was in pain. She'd just lie there and keep me warm, and she'd lie so still. That doggy has taken many tears into her fur coat, and she's earned her retirement.
Right. So have my dogs.
Yeah.
So you're on Talk with David Lofi and the wonderful Shanti Niven. That's you. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel. Invite friends to the page. And also, don't forget to sign up on Real Talk Talk. We got something coming up here tomorrow.
Really? You have something coming up?
Well, maybe next week.
Okay, we're going to share with you in at the end of the show. So you've got to hang on to the end of the show.
Hey,
We're gonna
Jeffrey.
some great news. And
Mhm.
Jeffrey, you are going to be especially pleased about that because I know that you have been missing something very, very much. And the missing will no longer, you won't need to miss it any longer
Well-
because we're going to be starting up again tomorrow night.
The missing will no longer be missing.
Right. So now I wanted to share a couple of things about animals because we think traditionally about dogs and cats as pets, but people have goldfish, they have all sorts and manner of animals. So I want to ask our members, what are the strangest pets that you know people have? The man in my life, Dan, used to have a big python as a pet. I'm so glad he got rid of it before he went. But it bit him a few times. Mhm.
Oh, really?
It did.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, I don't know about this. But here's an interesting one. Do you know that rats make amazing pets? Now, I haven't had one, but I had a friend who had 2 rats and they were highly intelligent. But here's the part that I wanted to tell you is that the Belgian government and this organization, I think it's called IPOPO or something to that effect, are going through Africa and searching for landmines, which blow up a lot. I don't know if you know about this, but there are a lot of Africans missing limbs because of these landmines that they step on when they go and collect water miles away from their homes. And it's, there's a lot of equipment that's needed in order to find these landmines. It's extremely expensive. Well, this particular guy has trained rats and they have turned out to be extraordinary. They actually can sniff out landmines.
His name's Peter, right?
Why, Peter? I don't know
Peter
what he's
Piper.
very funny.
Just
Oh, you got that.
saying. Hey, Sherman.
They're witty. No, I don't know what his name is. I think his name's Bob. I don't know what his name is.
Bob the rat trainer.
Belgium, from Belgium, and he has trained these rats. Now, this is the interesting thing as well. Not only do they sniff out landmines, they've discovered that these rats can sniff out TB, which is a big problem in Africa. So very intelligent. Well, we put out all these rat traps to kill rats. These are very valuable and important creatures. Okay.
Sharman says she raised a baby cougar and a baby silver fox. I thought
Oh,
silver fox was an older gentleman.
yeah, she raised you, David.
Yeah, not silver fox.
What's this, huh? You're a silver fox, trust me. Okay. Oh, that is amazing. I would have loved to have done that. I think I do very well in a career that involves animals. I love it.
I had a friend who raised a potbelly pig. Very smart, like a dog.
House trained?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, not to David, you are hysterical, Jeffrey Lee says. No, I'm the one who gets
I left the whole Python thing alone. Just so you know, just saying. But
that my
I I had some things to say, but I did leave it alone. I was being a good boy.
my man has a big python. Oh, okay.
You're happy you got rid of it. I don't know. But anyways, okay. I'll leave that alone.
All right. So now another thing you know about me, David, is that I once lived on a lavender farm and I decided to get a bunch of chickens. Now they make interesting pets. I also got ducks and geese and all sorts of other animals, but the chickens were very entertaining and also heartbreaking.
Little Snow White story.
It's actually true. My kids used to say I was like Mrs. Doolittle. I'd go walking at sunset around the lavender and all the animals would follow me. The ducks, the geese, the chickens. So Jeffrey Lee, is it just David that's hysterical? Am I just what?
You've got some wonderful stories that I laugh and make fun of.
Yeah, that your eyes move around. You do this all the time. You're like,
I'm looking at the chats coming in so I can like.
would you please try and keep your eyeballs still?
Sherman says, haha, they were abandoned by their mothers. The silver fox was abandoned by their mother. Charlie, Rich, was way older than me, David. Who's Charlie Rich?
It was a silver fox.
He must be the silver fox. He was older, way older though.
Yeah, David, we know, is very sensitive about his age, so we won't go there.
It's tough being 39.
All right.
42.
Look, I'll tell you what, I'll give you this. You look 38. All right. But you have the wisdom of a 52-year-old.
Aw, isn't that sweet? Smarter than my age. Stanley, waiter. Pets are there to make up for the inferior human companions. That's right. Pets are, I mean, everybody, I'm assuming everybody here kind of has pets. Let's hear some of your pet stories, I think would be great.
Yeah, and tell us about unusual pets that you have raised. Jeffrey Lee Steinberg says you are the straight woman. What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. That can go, well, I guess just one way, but.
Then, okay. All right. So we want to know about your funny pet stories. We want to know about unusual pets that you've raised. Tell us your pet stories. Tell us what you think you can learn from pets. Because the one thing I want to say is that we can learn from pets. Well, animals teach us loyalty. They are loyal no matter what. You can kick your dog. Not that I suggest this. I've never kicked my dog. But if you kicked your dog would come straight back to you for comfort. So animals are amazing creatures.
You can lock your dog in the trunk.
Hey, can't do that to your wife, David. Just remember that when you get married again.
I don't know about that.
I'm not to do that. If you lock your wife.
Don't get all crazy on me now. Brian says you're like a Disney princess with all the animals following her around.
I am. Even today, I've got birds who are not afraid of me anymore, and squirrels and
rabbits,
little creatures all over, crows, and there's a bobcat. I'm in
California condor.
Kath Henry says straight woman to David's funny man. What?
Oh,
you can insist that. I mean, I am straight, as opposed to
you're the. I'm the slapstick. You're the serious one.
David is definitely not gay.
You're. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Now we all know.
I believe you're the funny man. So what? I'm not funny.
That was a good one. You are a straight woman to David's funny man, and I think what she's trying to say is you're the straight, stiff.
I'm the stiff upper lip, straight-laced. I think that's what they mean is straight-laced. I'm a prude.
Straight-laced. That's what they mean.
Oh, come on. You guys don't know.
Not prude.
I'm not a prude, for sure.
No, you're not. Nope, you're very fun.
Oh, thank you, David. I got a compliment out of him. Did you hear that?
Easy now. They don't come easy.
They don't come often.
Or often, yeah.
Stories. We want to know your stories. There is an amazing story about a terrier mix, I believe it was a Jack Russell, something other mix, that saved the occupants of a house from a house fire. And that the fire had started, this dog went upstairs, was barking furiously, barking at the doors. One of the teenage girls got out, saw all the flames, helped her sisters to get out. I don't know how they got out, but anyway, unfortunately, the little dog, by the time it had tried to call everybody, succumbed to smoke inhalation, and they tried to save it, but it died. So it gave its life. And there are many beautiful stories of animals who gave their lives. There was one of the dogs that actually got in the way between a baby and a snake. There are many stories like that.
Yeah. Dogs are great creatures, great animals. Eric says, I raised a husky since he was a puppy. He was well trained, but had an attitude. There was times I would ask him to do something, and he would howl and argue with me before he doing it.
Sounds like a woman.
Yeah, was it a female husky?
Just watch it. I can say that, David.
I'm just asking. I'm not saying, I'm not implying anything. I'm just asking a simple question.
I mean, absolutely honesty. Funny. David just fires it off more. Okay.
There you go.
All right. And you're on Talk Talk with Shanti Niven and that handsome dude on my, I don't know what side he's on. I'm not quite sure. Because what I'm seeing is you're on top of me. I mean, not literally, you're above me.
I'm over there. You're over
God.
there.
And this is Talk Talk, where we talk about talk. We talk about all things talk, about relationships, communication. And David actually was my student. So if you're wondering how this all came about, David was my student and became my bestie, and we landed up having a really great relationship and thinking it would be great that two very different people, male, female, on the spectrum, off the spectrum, handsome and
Came from a poor family.
homely,
Came from homely.
came from a whatever. All of these differences, we wanted to show that you can have differences and get along. And so that's the reason for the show. We want you, if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, to subscribe, like, and share. If you're not watching on YouTube, go to our YouTube channel and do that. And please, guys, realtalktalk.com. Go there, support us by registering as a member, become a talker, a real one.
Mm-hmm. Stanley says, why do folks have pets that can potentially kill them or their children or their neighbors? Well, I think the last one, the neighbors, is why you have them. Keep your neighbors out of your yard. But I don't know, my dogs, don't worry about the dogs.
Yeah. No, I know.
They're not the dangerous ones.
I don't trust anything that's cold-blooded. So I don't trust your ex.
Yeah. It's my ex you had to worry about. Pets entertain me, make me laugh. My cousin owns a wildlife rescue. Amazing pics, Lori says. And Eric says that dog was a male.
Okay, it just goes to show. See, the rumors are not true. And by the way, as most of you know, that I lived in Africa for the grand majority of my life. I had the great privilege of living in among wild animals like elephant and lion. I'm not saying they didn't roam the
Yeah, they
neighborhood.
like in your backyard, right?
Yeah, I had remember the rhino?
The rhino in your backyard, horny.
Horny, yeah. And he was always.
I think people are a little mistaken what Johannesburg's like, but
I know. My son's there's more wildlife roaming around here than there was in Johannesburg, South Africa. But we did have, within a few miles, we could go and see some elephants and lions. We could go to the lion park and whatever. But anyway,
wait. There's a lion park. Is that where they park all the lions?
Did anybody in our group, talkers, did any of you watch that show about the Tiger King? Because I was going to say, there are people who have wild animals as pets, and that was what Stanley was talking about. I don't think it's a good idea. We've heard stories. Remember that story of the chimpanzee? That woman
Oh, yeah.
from a little baby.
Yeah.
And
Terrible
the
story.
chimpanzee ripped the friend's face off. So
Yeah,
that was
it's terrible. Mhm.
Yeah. horrible. So
Yeah, I don't know why you would have an animal like that either. I mean,
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
not.
Sharman says, I think any breed can become aggressive, which is true. Some dogs, but it all comes down to how you train them and treat them. If you treat the dog with love and teach them only love, some dogs, when they get cancer and are in pain, will become aggressive, as is the only way for them to express something is wrong.
Right. And then there are some
Yeah.
animals that, like Maggie, when I got her, and to this day, 8 years on, she still will snap at somebody if she's afraid, And here's the funny thing that I've actually taught a couple of people who've tried to touch her, and then she's kind of turned around and gone, she does this little snap thing. She's just warning them,
Yeah.
don't. And I've always said to them, don't tentatively go over to her and don't be afraid. I put a heavy hand on her, and I don't mean heavy and a hard hand. I'm just very confident with her. No.
No.
So dogs sense stuff from you. If you're tentative and nervous, they're going to be nervous too. So
I think with her, you just got to let her kind of make her way to you.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I met her, she was like, hey, stamp me. But then after a while, I sat down and she'd come over to me. Hey, what's up? So.
you didn't show fear, which was a good thing. Because if you show fear, there's the problem, because that makes her feel nervous.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
She hasn't got teeth, so so she's really not going to do any damage if she's,
She's got a couple teeth.
She's got the teeth in the back, teeth in the front, but all the teeth in the back were taken out. Poor thing.
Yeah, she's not gonna.
Not on purpose, by the way. In case you think I'm cruel, that was prior to me.
Oh, were they taken out? They didn't fall out.
No, what happened
Hey,
was
Kelly.
she was so neglected and so badly looked after. I mean, she had a broken vertebra. She had been tied up with rope. But her teeth were rotten.
Right.
So, you know, they were just bad. And so when I took her to the vet, they said, there's nothing we can do. We have to extract the teeth. So, poor thing. So, hi, Kelly. Good to see you. And you got to hang around till the end, to the end of the
The
show,
what?
because we're going to share some stuff with you. But do you know any more stories about animals? I've heard so many, or any personal experiences with animals, David?
I have a personal experience with. I was a dog person my whole life. You know, growing up and everything. Had a couple dogs. And I started a new job, moved to a new place, and I came home one day and I'm walking up to the door, and this little tiny kitten comes up and grabs my pant leg, like Claude, like, what are you doing? I pick up the cat. What are you doing? Right? It follows me up the door, and I'm thinking it's some little girl's kitty cat. So I'm like, okay, well, let me give you some milk if you're going to hang, because it would be a couple hours later still. They're like, well, I don't want you to starve. So I gave it a little bit of milk. And then the next day, I came home and there was the cat on my porch, like waiting for me, up on the little thing, waiting for me. And eventually by the end of the week, I'd figured it wasn't somebody else's cat. It became my cat. And every day throughout its life, it was there on the porch every day I came home.
Oh, I want to mention, Charmaine says, I agree we shouldn't own them, but once they depend on humans to survive, they can't be really eased back into the wild. Keisha the cougar was actually litter trained. Charmaine, I absolutely agree. And that's, you know, there is that. I wasn't actually referring to you. I'm just saying that there are people who want to have a wild animal. It's big business, in fact, for people who get these wild cats. And the Tiger King was what I was referring to, that show.
Yeah, exotic animals. Yeah.
It made big bucks just, you know, from having these little baby tigers for people to stroke and what have you. And I'm just appalled by that kind of. But rescuing wildlife, I'm all for that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Once you take it out of the wild, you almost can't get them back into the wild unless, you know, they do a lot of things to try to separate them so they're not as reliant on you. You know, when they do try to set them free. So Kelly Lewis says she has 2 deer and a wild turkey that visit with her. Wild turkey, huh? I was thinking the alcohol. She says she can hand feed the deer. Wild turkey, the alcohol.
There's a video when I went up to Oregon, when I went to go stay with my friend Jojo, and there was a bunch of wild turkeys out there, and I was going, did you hear that? One of the windows going, and then they started talking to me. They were going, back, and I was going, and they were going, it was so funny.
The wild turkeys. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess you're out in the mountains and stuff. When I was in Japan, there's a place in Kyoto where a temple, and you can go up to the deer and feed the deer. It's kind of cool.
Wow.
It's really cool. Yeah. And I was younger, so it was to me, it was like, wow, these deer come up to you. I'd never seen such a thing.
I saw a lovely video, and I don't know if I shared it on one of our groups, of this little baby deer. Its mother, I think, had been shot, and this little baby deer had found a human and came out and was like sucking on her leg and really begging her for help. And this woman was like, she didn't know what to do. It was absolutely awful. But
yeah, I saw that. What's a pangolin?
it's an anteater.
Oh, okay. Anteater. I know what that is. I need to go dig holes and clear out the ants. You're on Talk with the wonderful Shanti Niven and me. And we are we want you to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube page. You can find that YouTube page by going to our website, realtalktalk.com. And while you're there, you might as well register on the page. I mean, you're two birds, one stone, right? That's what I'm thinking. And then you come back to Facebook, and don't forget to like invite some friends, and we'll make this group. We're almost at 4,000.
I know. And listen, I want to say something as well while I'm thinking about it. I want to say a big thank you to Eric Reyes for all the wonderful work that he's been doing.
Yeah.
Because
And Ellie?
all our shows are up. Yeah, I just want to mention everybody.
Oh,
up.
good.
Eric, who's put all our shows up, got a calendar going, and is doing a lot of hard work. He's now working with Talk. Ellie, who's our producer on this show. Jeffrey Lee, who helped us with and is helping us with research and is involved. To our entire amazing team. I believe Brian's listening.
All of our moderators. Yep. Brian.
Moderators, Kat, Tonya, Jessica Lynn, all of our Randy, and
John Lyston.
all of our wonderful, wonderful team. Thank you for your service.
Joseph or Joe would come.
Joe and
Jay.
Joe and Jay, the two shrinks.
Joe and Jay, the two shrink. I don't think it's good. Yeah, your name has to start with J.
Oh, JJ, Jay and Jay. The
That's
two
what I heard. So, hey, Margaret, how are you?
Marguerite, not Margaret.
Oh,
Marguerite.
Marguerite,
I pronounce names.
you look so young,
Of course. I'm joking.
and I look so old.
He looks baby faced. Look at that baby. Okay, so now I want to mention with Lee was saying I want a pangolin, and did you know that they're now on the endangered list, and they've actually in China have now stopped the slaughter of pangolins, because pangolins were actually slaughtered for Chinese medicine, and so they are killed and are now in big danger. So
That and the bats.
and the bats. I'm telling you, you know, the one thing that does sadden me is how little regard we have for animals in the way that we, you know, even us,
Harvest them, live ones, or
where I'm living now, their development's spreading and that we're reducing their habitat. They don't have, you know, you find the coyotes are getting more and more hungry and they're being killed off, and it's just really sad. Jeffrey Lee says, glad to contribute in any way that I can. Jeffrey Lee, you are really amazing, and I want to introduce people more to him and his amazing story. He has 2 special needs kids, but they're also incredibly special. I mean, you've met Shosh and Noah.
yeah.
Amazing intellects and brilliant kids, and I really want to actually do an interview with Shosh at some stage as well. I've been coaching her to do stand-up comedy. She's amazing.
Yeah. On the spectrum.
On the spectrum, yeah, high functioning.
And yeah, high functioning spectrum. Yep.
No,
There's some people who believe that number 12 is not true. There's something else. So
Don't let that get to you, David.
it's not like an interview. I just like
The person who
trying to
points
get out there.
the person who points the finger has 4 fingers pointing back at them. Remember that.
That's right.
You know what? All I can say is, on behalf of the entire female race, I am so sorry. Female race. We are a race, are we? On behalf of all women everywhere, I am so sorry for how you have been knocked down, maligned, abused. But I will stand up for you and say that, look, I mean, you can be an asshole sometimes.
I don't disagree. I can be. There's a difference between being a
You are not a narcissist. You're the kindest, sweetest, most giving human being. And I'd take a bullet for you. You're one of the few people in my life that I would.
Can you send her a dictionary? Circle a word for her.
Send her
Maybe
session.
maybe like what a psychology book. I mean, basic psychology, I think would explain enough what that is. I don't know. So
You know what?
anyways,
You know what? I don't want to spoil the show by talking about your.
I know. Sorry, let's not do that. Anyways. Oops.
What's our mantra, David?
Our mantra today, I choose love again.
Right.
Right. And I had to do a lot of that on Monday. Still working on it. Jeffrey. Oh.
Read it.
Absolutely, man.
Says, thank you guys for everything you've done to help me and both of my kids. You know what, Jeffrey Lee? I want to say that I am so grateful that I met you and know you. And you are a sterling man, and I really believe that you're going to give back so much because of what
Yeah.
you've learned through what you've been through, the hardships and struggles and strife that you've been through.
Yeah,
It's only
same
fair.
here.
And this is what Talk is about, by the way. We're not just here to talk. We're here to walk the talk, right?
About pets.
And who better than a walking companion than a pet?
That's right.
The funny thing is they don't talk, or do they?
They do. They communicate.
They do. How do they communicate?
They let you know when they want a treat.
Right. Maggie talks, but she
They want something. I go outside for a minute with my dogs, and they're like, "Hey, man, supposed to give us a treat." I'm like, "Huh?"
Your Gigi, who was very aptly named, by the way. Gigi is the perfect name for your frou-frou. She's a poodle. She is a real character, a frou-frou.
She is something else. Yeah, she's
Not the kind of dog you'd imagine with a masculine male like, David, no mistaking, he is an alpha male. He's a real masculine man. And then he's got this frou-frou dog.
the balance.
Oh, it's balance. That's your feminine side, no?
Mhm. What's the balance from? I had this other girl dog. She was very angry.
B with an H.
Yeah, that's it. So she was the balance of the sweetness of a female.
I really don't blame, I wouldn't just say what men, but men and women who've been in bad relationships who land up actually just with an animal, because the animal is the epitome of unselfish love. Little Maggie would give her life for me. She would. She did once.
Yeah.
She attacked a Rottweiler to prevent it from eating me up.
Yeah, my dogs. Very much. My dogs are very protective. When they need to be. Otherwise, they're like, "Hey, man." So they're usually great for, they're very good. They hear smallest sound and they're on it.
And they completely got you wrapped around
Give me the
a
warning.
little pause. It's so funny. It is so funny.
So Charmin says that my Bailey even does a dance at 7 every night for her nighttime treat. Yep, my dog does.
Is Charmaine's name spelled like the toilet paper, David? Will you stop calling her Charmaine?
Is it Charmaine? There's no A there. Charmin.
No, it's not Charmaine. What are you trying to tell her? You remember
I didn't realize.
how you used to get Jeffrey Questra's name mixed up? He's never come back to the show because of you.
I don't think it was me. I think it was you, Jeffrey. Okay, do the enunciation of it. So I think it's Sherman Reed.
Okay, Charmaine.
I got the last.
Would you tell us if David's pronouncing your name right, or if I am? Maybe I'm going to eat dirt now. Is it Charmin or Charmaine? I say Charmaine, he says Charmin, like the toilet paper.
I'm going to ship you some dirt if I'm right.
Okay, folks.
Good old Bakersfield dirt.
Pets, your experiences with your dogs or your cats or your goldfish or your parrots.
So I used to have a dog trainer that came over. He calls me all the time still, but for my older dog, for the big dog, Coraline. And so she was already trained previously, but she's kind of
not easily trained. Let's put it that way. She's willful.
I don't know if you saw the chat.
What chat?
Our chat. Look over there. I'm sending you some dirt. Anyways.
Hold on. YNE. Maine?
Min.
Charmaine? Not Charmin. Surely.
Charmin.
Okay. I give it to David. I humbly apologize, David, for getting it wrong. Now you have your revenge for Jeffrey. What did you used to call him?
Coistru.
Coistru. So David is right and I'm wrong. Sorry, Shaman. So your name is pronounced like the toilet paper, and that it was
It's not spelt, which is
spelled like the toilet paper. It's
Mhm.
pronounced like the toilet paper. But
well, no, actually, that's Charmin. This is Charmin. Charmin.
says David, looking ever so intellectual right now.
I'm not intellectual, but you got something to say. Say
Yes,
it.
you're on Talk with the brilliant, intelligent, always right David Lofi, and the klutzy foot and mouth Shanti Niven.
No dirt.
Yeah, I'm now eating dirt. Yeah, I have been showed up for sure. You know what we forgot, David? We forgot the game. Go to Real Talk and sign up, register, please. Go to our YouTube channel and support us. And do me a favor, go and invite your friends to Talk. Come on, let's get this group back up. And I want all of our members to please participate. Let's get some action going. We're going to have some exciting news at the end of the show. David, I have no idea what game we're going to play. I completely forgot.
We could do Make Me Laugh.
Oh, yeah. And on top of it now, I'm being made to feel even worse. Because Shanti, Shaman says, remember when we talked on the phone, we focused about how everyone pronounces our names wrong. I do remember that now, and I'm blushing. I'm so embarrassed.
They pronounce my name wrong too.
People pronounce my name Shanti when it's Shanti.
Shanti.
Shanti, as you say, Shanti Niven.
Shanti Niven.
Shanti Niven.
How dare you, Shanti Niven?
So what are we going to do?
Shanti Niven.
You know what I actually think is I actually think I'm going to get Jeffrey Lee onto coming up with games and activities that we do each week because he's brilliant. He is
That'll be
so creative.
Let's put him in a lineup. That way we don't have to come up with them every week.
We have to think about what
So
game.
there's a couple games we can play. We play the draw game. Ellie can give us some words. Or what were we doing the words one?
Listen,
Hmm?
Stanley says when we go to another part of the house, our feline Conan the Catbarian would wail.
Real. I'm lonely. Yeah, that's cats. My little cat his name was Tigger, and I ever thought that other people named their cat Tigger that had tiger stripes. I just never really thought about the fact that other people would. And then I'm like, yeah, cat's name's Tigger. And everybody's like, yeah, that's my cat's name too. I thought I was being so unique, you know?
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't. Jeffrey Lee says he had a bunch of neon fish once. Very cool. I put the fish bowl on the windowsill so they could see outside. When I got home, they half of them jumped out of the bowl and were all dead on the windowsill.
That is
The sun had boiled the water. Oh, I had a mouse. That was an interesting.
what was its name? Mickey.
Folger.
What?
Folger.
Folger, as in the Folger coffee.
He lived in a Folger can when I got him.
Oh my, David.
So, so the Folger died.
Folger died.
Yeah, having sex.
Well, that's the way to go.
Well, he wasn't having sex.
Oh God! Please do not tell the story on a show.
He was
We don't know who could
dead.
listen.
I didn't. So
Were you having sex when he died?
somebody else was with me. I wasn't just. And he was on the bed, and Folger didn't make it.
Come on, that was very.
I was very sad story. I really liked Folger. It's like cute
How
little
did the
mouse.
mouse die because you were having sex? I mean, what were you doing? With
I
him?
know, right?
What were you doing with him? I hope you weren't doing a Richard Gere.
No, come on, God, no. He was running around the bed. I should watch. I tell that story. That sounds very wrong.
See, you had the grace to blush. Look, he's blushing. He's actually blushing. He's telling us that a mouse died while he was having sex. What the hell happened to the mouse when you
No,
did
that was not. No, actually, no. The mouse got crushed somehow or got pinned underneath her. So I don't know.
Oh, that is a terrible story. I wish you'd never.
I know. It's a terrible story. I really liked Folger. I thought he was cool.
What about the
I was
girl?
very hurt. It's like, it hurt. It was very painful. I loved
Cool.
Folger.
Just what happened afterwards?
Well, I had to bury Folger.
I'm talking about the mouse. I'm talking about the girl. Did it work out or what?
Yeah. For so long.
Was that the first ex?
What do you think? I've had 2 exes, but yeah, the first ex, as far as you know. Yeah, the first ex. I mean, I am like 25, and I've dated maybe a couple girls, but yeah.
Ashamed of that you killed your mouse. Poor thing. Well, look,
Kelly Lynch said she had a tarantula named Gus. I had a dog named Gus. My boy named him. I had a dog named Gus.
I have a confession to make. The other day, I killed a lizard, and I didn't mean to. I was stacking up chairs, and unbeknownst to me, behind one of the chairs was a lizard. And so I stacked the chair, and when Dan was removing the chairs again, there was a flattened lizard. It was squashed between the 2 chairs.
Oh, you're so mean.
Sad.
Why'd you do that?
I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't know he was behind the chair.
I didn't mean to kill the Folger either. I really
What
liked
were you doing with
Folger.
a mouse in your bed? I mean, really, you should know better.
I was I had Folger out. It's just like, hey, he's such a good little mouse. And then I don't even remember that. I just remember he died. I remember he died. I remember that. Yeah. So
That must have been devastating. I would have been absolutely devastated. I mean, every animal that I've had that has died has, I mean, I don't do well with animal deaths.
mhm.
I really don't.
Yeah.
Chickens were traumatic because there was always a chicken dying on the animal
Mhm.
farm.
I've had to bury some animals.
Oh, Shaman says, I so remember that about Richard Gere. Never looked at him quite the same. Now, I have heard that was actually a malicious lie. He has always maintained he's not going to respond to this kind of stuff, but he eventually did say that was not the truth, that it was, in fact, something.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, you've also had rumors spread around about you. So, Jeffrey Lee's putting us back on subject. We're still talking about pets. Yeah, we're supposed to be. Will you guys come up with some stories, please? We need some stories.
Well,
But in the meantime, Jeffrey Lee, you can maybe be thinking about what game we can play today. How about our members tell us, what do they think?
we had the name game where we had to explain what it was, but it was just too easy, like hospital.
Yeah, well, that's a bit, I mean, you and Tanya, really. Yeah, we need to make it more difficult.
It was too easy. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are talking about pets. If you've got any stories to share or cute little anecdotes, I like this little thing that, about the fact that that we used to worship animals. I don't know if you know that, or people used to worship animals or cats, sorry, specifically. I think they were treated as gods. And
He says they.
and
go ahead.
apparently they've never forgotten this. That was a line by Terry Pratchett.
Huh. Interesting.
Winston Churchill was reputed to have said, I'm fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us, cats look down upon us, and pigs treat us as equals.
Right.
I like this line by Groucho Marx. Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read.
Right. That's a total Groucho Marx joke.
So Ken Hubbard said, no one can feel as helpless as the owner of a sick goldfish. I was wondering about that. What do you do when your goldfish is sick? I mean,
Try to flip him over.
give him heart. Do you give him mouth to mouth? How do you give mouth to mouth a little?
Try to flip him over. Put a little weight on the bottom so he floats upright. He's floating upside down. I've had goldfish and they tend to float on the side when they start to get sick, and then they finally.
I know.
Goldfish. The ones with the big beady eyes.
There was actually a dolphin once. I don't know where it was, but it lost its tail fin or something to that effect.
Oh yeah, they made a movie about it.
Yeah, and they gave it a fake, like a prosthetic tail fin. But there was also a goldfish that lost its thing and it kept on flipping over, and somebody created a little fin for it. It had like a little strap-on fin. It was so cute. I mean, that's dedication for you. And you're on Talk Talk. That handsome dude there, my bestie, David Lofi, and me, these two very different people who somehow get along, even though sometimes we do argue and stuff. We won't tell you about those. But we're on Real Talk Talk, where we prove that you can disagree and still be friends. That's what our whole mission is about, is to teach people that we don't have to hate on other people. We can learn how to get past our differences and get along.
Right.
You are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and like it. Hey, we could really do with your support. We are actually doing some good out there in the community. If you want to buy merchandise like this, or our t-shirts or our whatever, you can get that on our site, realtalktalk.com.
With the,
join.
with the updated logo, sorry. Because we got these caps back in the day when we were doing logo like this, but now we're doing it like that up there.
It's so much cooler, and it says "Let's Talk" on the mug. Isn't it cool? A coffee mug that says "Let's Talk," and you get different colors. Kath went and bought one in each color. So thank you, Kath, for supporting. And by the way, proceeds of our merchandise sales actually go back into our community and helping our talkers. So you're doing a lot of good. Kelly has something to say that you might want to read, David.
Well, let me go back to some of these other ones first. Lee says, I used to have a cat that I shared a bagel with. Sometimes she would sit at my window and watch me sleep. She would also like to nibble on my big toe when I'd sit on the porch. I get the she thing. Now, I had a cat, and I thought it was a girl cat till it grew. Or, well, then a friend of mine came over and no, this is a boy cat. And that cat used to sleep with, well, it was the only cat I had, the same cat, Tigger. And used to sleep with me. I'm like, hey, man, I don't, this ain't no cool anymore, right? Not that I have anything against it. I'm just saying. Anyways, Sharman says that's good. Thank goodness. Lee says again, I had a tadpoles, frogs, crawfish, a snake, daddy long legs in the corner of my room.
It's not qualify as a pet, Lee.
In my front yard, influence in his front yard. Okay, so Stanley says it's a cat's world. They only allow us to live in it.
I believe for sure. Cats are interesting creatures. I find them to be really interesting creatures. They just are.
Yeah. Ellie says, my parents rescued an awesome little terrier named Bentley. He claimed me as his person. It took 2 years for him to warm up to them. He was my shadow. That's cool. You know, dogs or cats are like that. I mean,
dogs choose who they will go to. You know, you can choose. I bought a dog for my husband, father of my kids, and he said, well, great. You know, he knew, by the way, that I would buy him a dog when I actually wanted one.
Yeah.
Because that was the way to get the dog into the house, right? And this dog, of course, became mine and followed me around everywhere. And he's like, that's supposed to be my dog. And I said, well, he chose me.
Right? That's like the two dogs I have. They kind of chose me. Jeffrey Lee says we can play an improv game where the listeners can give you a scenario, a type of pet, etc. You guys need to act in.
Oh, right? Okay. Are you willing for that? We have 6 minutes left. I don't know if we actually have time, so maybe.
Ferrets are great.
That was a good idea, but it was a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
What kind of pet am I?
You're a cat.
Okay, give me one. Bulldog. A pig. That was very apt, David.
That's what pigs do. They go up and smell everything.
Because you're a male chauvinist.
Ooh, easy now. Sharman says, I had a friend who had a pet ferret, and I was going to the bathroom, and it got my little toe. They have curved teeth, so when I jerked my foot away, it tore the toe. Ooh. up to where the fatty tissue was coming out. That's terrible. That's
Okay, listen, can we have some feel-good stories to end the show off on? Ow, I can actually feel that. Ow.
ferret. Why did you bite your toe? Why did the foot bite your toe? Well, okay, so pick an animal. Oh, wait.
What the hell are you? An eagle. Fly like an eagle. What are you?
That was pretty good. I thought you would choose some other bird, but that was the eagle.
Let me try something.
That's how they move their wings.
Wait, hold
A rabbit.
on. You got it first time. This is not fair. Okay, you try one. Dog.
What kind of dog?
Labrador.
It's Gigi.
Oh,
You'll never- She's one of a kind. Little menace.
Dude, let me just think.
Troublemaker.
Okay, how about this?
A horse. Cow?
How did you get horse from that?
Because horses do that.
No, think wild animal. Imagine I have a very
Oh, giraffe. Well, similar, kind of like a horse.
Okay, all right, got it. Okay, next.
I thought you were like a monkey, like rocking out to some music, like jazz.
I didn't do a very good job. Okay, carry on. Give me an animal.
An animal. I would say an animal.
We have 3 minutes. Come on.
3 minutes.
Gorilla. Oh, you're picking at something. Bird. Bird. Crow. What? Chicken? Chicken.
All right.
It's a chicken. Yay!
Jeffrey says when his son's having a hard time, his favorite thing to do is go outside and see all the dogs that are being walked around the neighborhood. It literally changes his entire day. Maybe you should get him a dog.
I think so.
Maybe it would change his life.
It might do. Good thing. Okay.
As long as he takes care of it, right?
One last animal.
Lemur. Am I right? Oh, no? Lemur. An owl?
Yay! All right, we have
A
time.
hooter?
Yeah.
You would have got it right up. Ow.
You
Kath
got-
says, what about your announcement? Speak up.
Oh,
before
yes,
we're out
I
of
think
time.
we have 3 minutes. Okay. So tomorrow night, everybody who knows my speakers gym or you speak Club Captivate, we are starting an online version tomorrow night at 6 p.m. If you are a member of Talk Talk, you go to realtalktalk.com and register as a member. You will get a notification by email about the Zoom code because we don't want any Zoom bombers. So it'll be highly confidential and highly secretive. If you
Very
want to
secret.
meeting and you know me, I will send you the link. If not, you will get it automatically as a member, but only as a member of Real Talk Talk. And you're going to see a fun demo meeting. So we're going to let you know more tomorrow night. But it basically is that we're starting online speakers gym. And it's not going to be the same as like a Toastmaster or people doing stuffy speeches. This is going to be focused on quick wits, on teaching you the skills to think on your feet, how to communicate off the cuff. You're going to learn skills that are going to keep your brain sharp because we all know about neuroplasticity and teach you really important skills. So we're going to have one of those. We're going to go back to creative minds in terms of how to write and create wonderful stories. And we're going to do one called Business Brains, which is going to be helping people where David is an expert in coming up with ideas for business, marketing, and all sorts of wonderful stuff.
Yep, we'll have different topics. Like we'll do marketing, certain marketing areas. We talk about that. Everybody wants to kind of join in. You can come in and add your own information. We talk about other facets of business, accounting, basic accounting principles, things that you can use to kind of plan for your next year, taxes, write-offs, all that good stuff. That's good stuff to know what's going on.
The whole thing is we're going to teach you how to make money, how to save it, how to invest it, all sorts of cool things. And David is really you're going to be able to give some of his great advice. This is a man who's created businesses and done some amazing things. And I hope I have a little bit to teach as well. And with that, we're at 7 p.m. No more animal business.
No more monkey business.
No more monkey business, yes. Go and join Real Talk so that you can be part of what's happening tomorrow night and join in. You don't have to talk. You can watch and listen, or you can join in, okay?
RealTalkTalk.com.
RealTalkTalk.com. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow evening. Bye.
Tomorrow night. Bye.
Okay.
All you do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All you do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All you do is talk, talk.
Bam.
Bam!
Bye, David.